In this lesson, we are going to talk about the NC program function. The first thing we need to explain is why you would want to use this. In our sample part, we have two setups. Setup 1 uses fixture offset 1 and machines the top of the part. Setup 2 uses fixture offset 2 and machines the bottom of the part. You can post-process them separately and run each program on a different machine. You can run each program concurrently on the same machine. So you would run all of the tops and then reset the machine to run all of the bottoms. But sometimes you want to run the machine with two fixtures, machining the tops on one side of the table and machining the bottoms on the other side of the table. This can be more efficient if both sides are using the same tooling. If I can rough part 1 and then rough part 2 without changing the tool, I can reduce the overall cycle time. The work coordinate system fixture offset will let us shift the XYZ0 between the two different fixtures. We just need a way to organize the order of outputting the tool paths for the best efficiency. That's what NC program is for. As a way to keep things organized, I renamed the operations to reflect what they are cutting and added a top or bottom designation to the name. You will see why this is useful in a minute. The NC program icon is located in the Setup toolbar group. Let's select it now. The NC program dialog has two tabs. The Setup tab contains information that is similar to what we saw in our previous lesson on post-processing. The Operations tab shows a similar view to the toolpaths in the browser. Let's start by focusing on the Operations tab. Any items selected in the browser prior to starting NC program will automatically be selected in the browser window on the Operations tab. Disable any top-level setup selections to clear any selection in the right window. If we place a checkbox on Setup 1, it moves all of those toolpaths to the window on the right. If we place a checkbox on Setup 2, it moves all of those toolpaths to the window on the right. Now let's look at what we have in the right window. We can adjust any column width by selecting the divider and dragging it. The first column lists the operation names. In the third column, it shows which setup the operation is associated with. Next to that, we have the work offset used for that operation. Finally, we have a description of the tool used in the operation. Initially, it keeps all the operations grouped by setup. These are all setup 1, and these are all setup 2. At the bottom, we can enable reorder to minimize tool changes, and now the toolpaths are grouped in a more efficient order. The two top operations are both using the 2-inch face mill. This one faces the top, and this one faces the bottom. Then we have a tool change to rough the outside with the 1/2-inch end mill. That's the only time we use that tool. The next three operations use the 3/8 end mill. We rough the top pockets and then rough the bottom pockets. You can see where this is going. Fewer tool changes. Better use of the current tool in the spindle. You can still remove any toolpaths if you want. If we disable the chamfer toolpath from both setups in the browser window, they are removed from the combined operations list. I'm going to enable them again, and that will put them back in the same order. Let's go back to the Settings tab. Again, these are similar to the post-processor settings. Let's give it a new program name. Let's use 1003. For the comment, let's say Combined Intro to 2D Machining. For the output folder, I have a folder on my desktop called CAD/CAM Files NC that I'm going to select. You can select any folder that's convenient for you. There is a choice to Open NC File in Editor. I will leave that disabled. You will see why later. In the Post Configuration section, you can use the filters to help find the best post for your machine. There are many different configurations available to create the NC output. You can limit the types of post to display by selecting Milling from the Capability pull-down. Then in the Vendor pull-down, select Haas Automation. Now, in the Selected Configuration pull-down, you can see the available Haas milling posts. Pick the Haas A-axis configuration. The post will usually have switches to turn on or off functionality. In the section on the right, there are a number of switches that can alter the output of the NC program. If a post doesn't seem like it's right for your machine, it might simply be that you have something turned on or off that's affecting the output. Not every post will have the same switches. Consult the product help documentation for additional information on these switches. We will be leaving them as is. Select OK to save this NC program configuration setting. Now we can see a new item in the browser for NC programs. Right-click on our new NC program item and select Duplicate from the pull-down. Right-click on the new duplicate and select Edit from the pull-down. On the Operations tab, disable the chamfer toolpaths from Setup 1 and 2. OK the changes. Click on the new NC program and change the name to Both Setups No Chamfer. Click on the first NC program and change it to Both Setups Complete. You can create multiple NC program configurations to accommodate different output requirements. These might be for different NC machines with capabilities that would exclude certain operations. If your machine did not have rigid tapping capability, you could create an NC program operation that eliminates any tapping operations. In this lesson, we covered how to use NC program to create multiple post-processing configurations to accommodate a variety of situations. Press Ctrl+S to save the part, Command-S on the Mac.